All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Sunil Verma. The headlines. Yogi Adityanath takes oath as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh for the second consecutive term. Keshav Prasad Maurya and Brajesh Pathak sworn in as Deputy Chief Ministers along with 50 other ministers. Prime Minister says Uttar Pradesh will write another new chapter of progress under leadership of Yogi Adityanath. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says restoration of normal ties with China requires restoration of normalcy in border areas. India to resume international flights from midnight tonight. UGC asks Indian students to exercise caution in making higher education choices amid travel curbs in China, says online degrees won't be recognized. Over 1 crore children between 12 to 14 years of age received first dose of COVID vaccine. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur to attend CEO roundtable with leading cinema and television personalities in Dubai today. Earth Hour to be observed from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. tonight to raise awareness about climate change. 15th edition of the Indian Premier League begins in Mumbai today. Defending champions Chennai Super Kings to take on Kolkata Knight Riders at the Wankhede Stadium in the opening match this evening. And PV Sindhu, Kidambi Srikanth and Aegis Prannoy sail into the semi-finals of the Swiss Open Badminton Tournament at Basel. As we start the bulletin, we appeal to our listeners to stay safe from COVID-19 by following these 4 simple steps. Get fully vaccinated, wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Yogi Adityanath took oath as the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh for the second consecutive term at a grand ceremony in Lucknow yesterday. Keshav Prasad Maurya and Brajesh Pathak took oath as the Deputy Chief Ministers of the state. Apart from them, the oath of office was administered by Governor Anandiben Patel to 50 other ministers, which includes 16 cabinet ministers, 14 state ministers with independent charge, and 20 ministers of state. The grand swearing-in ceremony held at the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Ikana Cricket Stadium in Lucknow witnessed a massive crowd. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur, and several top BJP leaders and chief ministers of other states ruled by the party attended the ceremony. Prime Minister congratulated Yogi Adityanath on taking oath as the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said the development journey of the state in the last 5 years has marked several important milestones. He expressed confidence that under Yogi Adityanath's leadership, the state will write another new chapter of progress by fulfilling the aspirations of the people. Our correspondent reports Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will hold his first cabinet meeting this morning at Lok Bhavan in Lucknow.
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will hold his first cabinet meeting this morning at Lok Bhavan in Lucknow. Later, he will attend the swearing-in ceremony of Pro Tem Speaker in Raj Bhavan. Senior BJP leader and MLA from Mankapur in Gonda, Ramapati Shastri, has been appointed as Pro Tem Speaker by Governor Anandiben Patel. The Chief Minister will also have a meeting with senior administrative officials of the state this afternoon. Yesterday, just after becoming second-time Chief Minister of the state, Yogi Adityanath held the first informal meeting of his Council of Ministers in Lucknow. Meanwhile, newly elected Samajwadi Party MLAs will also meet today at the party office in Lucknow. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has said restoration of normal ties with China will require restoration of normalcy in border areas. Briefing the media following talks with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi in New Delhi, Dr. Jaishankar said they discussed bilateral relations that have been disturbed as a result of Chinese actions in April 2020. He said they addressed a broad and substantive agenda in an open and candid manner in the meeting that lasted for over 3 hours.
We've had 15 rounds of talks between senior commanders and progress has been achieved on several friction points from the disengagement perspective. This needs to be taken forward since the completion of disengagement is necessary for discussions on de-escalation to take place. I would describe our current situation as work in progress, obviously at a slower pace than desirable, and my discussions with FM Wangi were aimed at expediting that process.
International flights to and from India will resume from midnight tonight. The flight operations is going to restart after a gap of 2 years. The Civil Aviation Ministry had suspended the regular international flights in March 2020 in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the ministry, international operations shall be subject to strict adherence to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare guidelines for international travel. Airport Authority of India has said it has revised its existing COVID guidelines concerned with international operations. According to the revised guidelines of COVID-19, the restriction of keeping 3 seats vacant on international flights is removed. Also, the requirement of a complete PPE kit for crew members stands removed. The pat-down search conducted by the security personnel at the airport is reintroduced. Wearing masks at the airport or aircraft should still be continued. The suspension of scheduled commercial international passenger services to and from India will end at 23:59 hours tonight. Earlier, the Civil Aviation Ministry had said that after having recognized the increased vaccination coverage across the globe and in consultation with the stakeholders, the government has decided to resume scheduled commercial international passenger services to and from India. The suspension of scheduled commercial international passenger services to and from India thus stands extended till 23:59 hours on the 26th of March, and air bubble arrangements shall accordingly be extended to this extent only.
The University Grants Commission UGC and All India Council for Technical Education AICTE advised the students to exercise due diligence while making decision to choose where to pursue higher education to avoid further problems in employment or higher studies. In a public notice issued by the UGC and AICTE, it has been said that it has come to notice that a few universities in the People's Republic of China have started issuing notices for admission to various degree programs for the current and upcoming academic years. The notice further said, in this context, any prospective student needs to be aware that the government of China has imposed strict travel restrictions in the wake of COVID-19 and suspended all visas since November 2020. It said a large number of Indian students have not been able to return to China to continue their studies due to these restrictions. Further, the Chinese authorities have conveyed earlier that courses will be conducted online. The notice clearly stated that as per the extant rules, UGC and AICTE do not recognize such degree courses done only in online mode without prior approval. President Ramnath Kovind will be on a 2-day visit to Uttarakhand from today. Tomorrow, the President will address the concluding ceremony of the Silver Jubilee celebrations of Divya Prem Seva Mission in Haridwar.
The government has said that more than 8,000 crore digital payment transactions have been reported in the country during the current financial year. Minister of State for Electronics and Information Technology, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, said this in a written reply to a question in Rajya Sabha yesterday. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 182 crore 83 lakh mark. The Health Ministry said more than 25 lakh 81,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. More than 1 crore 5 lakh children from 12 to 14 years of age have received their first dose of COVID vaccine so far. In a tweet, Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya congratulated all the young warriors who got vaccinated. Talking to AIR News, Chairman COVID Task Force N.K. Arora said,
कल शाम तक 12 से 14 साल के 1 करोड़ बच्चों को पहला टीका लग गया। ये एक और उपलब्धि है हमारी कोविड की तरफ बचाव के लिए जो कदम हमने उठाए हैं, और मैं चाहूंगा हर एक माता पिता को बिना किसी झिझक के विश्वास के साथ अपने बच्चों को लेके आएं और कोविड की महामारी से बच्चों को ही नहीं, समाज को, देश को और परिवार को बचाएं।
Over 2 crore 23 lakh precaution doses have been administered to identified categories of beneficiaries like healthcare workers, frontline workers and people over 60 years of age so far.
The Finance Bill 2022 moved by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman was passed in the Lok Sabha yesterday. In a reply to the issues raised by the members on the bill, Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the tax proposals proposed in the bill are designed to cause minimum burden on the taxpayers. On the faceless assessment of taxpayers, the minister noted that the amendments related to this are made to plug the loose ends and provide a window to the taxpayers to resolve the dispute through video conference during the finalization.
We have taken a conscious position not to fund the recovery through any additional taxes. And that is why last year and this year, the continuity in not bringing newer taxation is something which I would like to place on the record of this House. We are constantly working to make sure that people are not burdened.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Yogi Adityanath takes oath as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh for the second consecutive term. Keshav Prasad Maurya and Brajesh Pathak sworn in as Deputy Chief Ministers along with 50 other ministers. Prime Minister says Uttar Pradesh will write another new chapter of progress under leadership of Yogi Adityanath. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says restoration of normal ties with China requires restoration of normalcy in border areas. India to resume international flights from midnight tonight. UGC asks Indian students to exercise caution in making higher education choices amid travel curbs in China. Says online degrees won't be recognized. Over 1 crore children between 12 and 14 years of age receive first dose of COVID vaccine. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur to attend CEO roundtable with leading cinema and television personalities in Dubai today. Earth Hour to be observed from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. tonight to raise awareness about climate change. 15th edition of Indian Premier League begins in Mumbai today. Defending champions Chennai Super Kings to take on Kolkata Knight Riders at Wankhede Stadium in the opening match this evening. And PV Sindhu, Kidambi Shrikant and HS Pranoy sail into semi-finals of Swiss Open Badminton Tournament at Basel. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग। आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता। बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर 8700014242।
क्या आप कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम की तैयारी कर रहे हैं? ऑल इंडिया रेडियो के नए प्रोग्राम अभ्यास में हमारे विशेषज्ञ आपके सवालों का देंगे जवाब। शनिवार रात 9:30 बजे FM गोल्ड पर। इस बार का विषय है हिस्ट्री। आप इससे जुड़े सवाल व्हाट्सएप करें 9289094044 पर या सवाल ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं abhyas.air@gmail.com पर। इतिहास विषय पर आपके प्रश्न हमें 30 मार्च तक मिल जाने चाहिए। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Welcome back. You're listening to the morning news. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur will be on a 3-day official visit to Dubai from today. During the visit, the minister will attend CEO roundtable with leading personalities of the cinema exhibition and television world. He will also visit the India Pavilion at the Dubai Expo, where Media and Entertainment Week has been going on. Mr. Anurag Thakur will also meet ministers and industry leaders during the visit. Tomorrow, Mr. Thakur will visit India Pavilion at the Dubai Expo to participate in the event celebrating and taking Indian media and entertainment industry global. Eminent film personality Ranveer Singh is likely to join the minister during the visit. Mr. Thakur will interact with several leaders of the sector during his visit to the pavilion. He will meet Jamal Al Sharif, Executive Board Member at Dubai Film and TV Commission, Dubai Development Authority at the Expo on the 28th of March. The minister is likely to meet a range of people to promote India's interest in the sector.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It will be the 87th episode of the monthly radio program. The program will be broadcast on the entire network of All India Radio and Doordarshan, AIR News website and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR News, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will also be repeated at 8 p.m. US President Joe Biden visited the Polish town of Rzeszów, about an hour's drive from the Ukrainian border, in a symbolic show of support for the Eastern European states that are witnessing Russian military operation in their neighborhood. During the visit, the American leader met US troops bolstering NATO's eastern flank and got a first-hand look at international efforts to help the over 2 million Ukrainian refugees who have found temporary shelter in Poland from war in their country. And now, let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle.
Today we remember our veteran leader from Sri Lanka, Philip Gunawardena, for his participation in the Indian freedom struggle.
Philip Gunawardena's love for India and his efforts towards freedom against imperialist occupation started in the early 1920s in the USA. He was a classmate of Jayaprakash Narayan at the University of Wisconsin, where he advocated for freedom from imperialism. In 1928, Philip came to England and participated in the activities of the Indian League with V.K. Krishna Menon.
When World War II broke out, the Lanka Samasamaj Party, LSSP, openly opposed the British war effort and its members had to go underground. Philip Gunawardena was arrested and imprisoned due to his open opposition to the British war effort. On the 5th of April 1942, during the Japanese air raid on Colombo, LSSP leaders, including Gunawardena, were able to escape from prison. Disguised as Guru Sami, Philip escaped to India along with his wife Kusuma.
In India, the couple joined the underground activists who were fighting for Indian independence. In 1943, Philip and his wife were captured by the British. They were imprisoned at the Arthur Road jail in Bombay. After 1 year, they were deported to Sri Lanka and released only at the end of the Second World War in 1945.
Post-independence, the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, visited their family home in Sri Lanka to personally thank the couple for their support to India's freedom movement and their personal sacrifice.
After Sri Lanka gained independence from the United Kingdom in 1948, both Philip and Kusuma went on to become members of Parliament. Philip was a founding leader and cabinet minister of the People's Revolution government in 1956. He is also known as the father of socialism in Sri Lanka. Philip Gunawardena remained active in public life in Sri Lanka till his death on the 26th of March, 1972.
Culturally, socially and historically, India has been Sri Lanka's closest neighbor for thousands of years. The sacrifice given by Philip Gunawardena and the unsung martyrs of Sri Lanka symbolize the bond the two countries share with each other. AIR News pays tribute to the great leader.
We also remember freedom fighter Bhikajirao Jizaba Khatar Patil, popularly called Dada or Khatar Sahib. He was born on the 26th of March 1919 in Ahmednagar, Maharashtra.
He was an active participant in the struggle for independence of India.
In the 1930s, at a young age, Khatar participated in the civil disobedience movement.
Later, he started his career as a lawyer. He grew up to be a famous lawyer in Maharashtra. During the Quit India movement, he was active in the region of Ahmednagar. He was a member of the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly from 1962 till 1985. He served as the minister in the Maharashtra cabinet for a period of over 16 years, handling diverse portfolios. He spearheaded multiple developmental projects in Maharashtra, including building of dams and construction of sugar mills.
Throughout his political career, Patil Sahib was revered for his honest behavior in public life. He was so principled that he never even let his family members use his government vehicle while he was minister. In 1985, he retired from active politics. Patil spent the rest of his life pursuing his interests that included meditation. P.J. Khatar Patil also authored several books in Marathi before he breathed his last on the 16th of September 2019. We salute the great nationalist.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Earth Hour will be observed from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. tonight. It is the world's largest grassroots movement for the environment where people around the globe unite to take a stand against climate change by turning off non-essential lights for 1 hour. Starting out as a symbolic Lights Out event in Sydney in 2007, it has come to be observed every year on the last Saturday of March in more than 180 countries, uniting millions of people in the effort to decarbonize the planet both collectively and individually. The theme for this year's global event is Shape Our Future, highlighting a collective responsibility towards the environment. Talking to AIR News, Vidya Sundarajan, Director Ecological Footprints at the Worldwide Fund, WWF India, elaborated on the objective of the Earth Hour.
Earth Hour, in my mind, translates as this is the final hour we have left in our hands before the ensuing destruction that is going to happen, before the floods become frequent, the droughts become frequent, the sea comes in, we have new diseases coming in. This is the last hour we have left. This is like the 1 hour before the board examination that you have to prepare an answer. So I think the most important message for Earth Hour this year is the urgency that it should make all of us feel in terms of saying each one of us need to do our most. Each one of us need to do our best. Every time we buy something, every time we eat something, every time we sell something, we should be thinking, what are the wider impacts of this?
The 15th edition of the Indian Premier League IPL begins in Mumbai today. The lucrative cricket league gets underway with defending champions Chennai Super Kings taking on Kolkata Knight Riders in the opening game at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai this evening. The match will begin at 7:30 p.m. Indian time. We have a desk report.
Indian cricket's crown jewel, the IPL, is back home, bigger, better and longer. The first match will be between the defending champions Chennai Super Kings and Kolkata Knight Riders in Mumbai this evening. With the COVID situation under control, IPL is being held in India in its entirety after a gap of 2 years, with at least 25% capacity of crowds allowed in stadiums. With the addition of 2 new teams, Lucknow Super Giants and Gujarat Titans, the IPL will have 10 teams this time. The number of games have been increased to 74 from 60, with the addition of new teams, extending the IPL window to over 2 months. 70 league matches will be played across stadiums at Mumbai and Pune in Maharashtra. 55 games will be held at 3 venues of Mumbai and the remaining 16 in Pune. The venue for the playoff matches are yet to be announced. The teams have been divided into 2 groups of 5 based on their previous IPL records. Group A comprises Mumbai Indians, Kolkata Knight Riders, Rajasthan Royals, Delhi Capitals and Lucknow Super Giants, while Group B will have Chennai Super Kings, Sunrisers Hyderabad, Royal Challengers Bangalore, Punjab Kings and Gujarat Titans. Looking back at the 14 seasons so far, the most successful team in the league has been Mumbai Indians, who have lifted the IPL trophy on 5 occasions. Swati Rakheja, Sports Desk.
In badminton, top Indian singles players PV Sindhu, Kidambi Shrikant and HS Pranoy will be vying for a spot in the finals of Swiss Open tournament at Basel today. The three continued their impressive run and registered dominant victories yesterday to sail into the semi-finals of their respective events. Two-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu stormed into the last 4 after overpowering 5th seed Michelle Lee of Canada 21-10, 21-19 in the quarterfinals of women's singles. Second seed Sindhu will meet unseeded Supanida Katephong of Thailand in the semi-finals today. World Championship silver medalist Kidambi Shrikant entered the semi-finals by defeating second seed Anders Antonsen of Denmark 21-19, 19-21, 22-20. Seventh seed Kidambi will take on fourth seed Jonathan Christie of Indonesia for a place in the finals of men's singles. HS Pranoy beat compatriot and former Commonwealth Games gold medalist Parupalli Kashyap 21-16, 21-16 in the quarterfinals match.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is likely to have strong surface winds during the daytime. The temperature will vary between 19 and 35 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening. Chennai is likely to have partly cloudy sky. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder and lightning. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky. Jammu will have mainly clear sky and Leh is likely to have partly cloudy sky.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. New Delhi puts onus on Beijing, better ties only if you disengage, leads the Indian Express. The paper writes Jaishankar, Dubhal, telling Wang, relations not normal, disturbed due to Chinese actions. Yogi begins second innings, 24 ministers lose berth, reports the Pioneer, adding Yogi 2.0 sets caste equations right. Calcutta High Court directs CBI to probe killings in Birbhum, reports Hindustan Times. Prime Minister's Pariksha Pe Charcha on April the 1st informs the Tribune. Referring to the finance bill passed by Lok Sabha, the Financial Express quotes Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman as saying, government is committed to lowering taxes. Ukraine, 300 killed in Russian strike on Mariupol theatre, reports the Statesman, and Pani Azzurri missed the bus again. Well, the Times of India reports that European champions Italy failed to qualify for World Cup after shock loss to North Macedonia. Uruguay, Ecuador qualify.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Yogi Adityanath takes oath as the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh for the second consecutive term. Keshav Prasad Maurya and Brajesh Pathak sworn in as Deputy Chief Ministers, along with 50 other ministers. Prime Minister says Uttar Pradesh will write another new chapter of progress under leadership of Yogi Adityanath. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says restoration of normal ties with China requires restoration of normalcy in border areas. India to resume international flights from midnight tonight. UGC asks Indian students to exercise caution in making higher education choices amid travel curbs in China, says online degrees won't be recognized. Over 1 crore children between 12 to 14 years of age receive first dose of COVID vaccine. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur to attend CEO roundtable with leading cinema and television personalities in Dubai today. Earth Hour to be observed from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. tonight to raise awareness about climate change. 15th edition of the Indian Premier League begins in Mumbai today. Defending champions Chennai Super Kings to take on Kolkata Knight Riders at the Wankhede Stadium in the opening match this evening. And PV Sindhu, Kidambi Srikanth and Aegis Prannoy sail into the semi-finals of the Swiss Open Badminton Tournament at Basel. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.